All right, I wanted to welcome Jim Kielbaso back. Good to see you.
Good to see you too again, Julie. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I brought you on today because I've been getting this question, how to keep athletes in your programs from season to season.
Yeah, that's a great question. And at coaches conferences when I speak there, that seems to be like one of the number one questions that I get as well is, yeah, we have them during our season, but then they go into another sports season and then we lose these kids, or they do something else that that's not aligned with what we're doing. So I almost always approach this from a communication standpoint. And as a strength and conditioning professional, I think it's our job to be able to educate and coordinate with other coaches. You may have a football coach, a basketball coach, let's just say a football, basketball, and track, because they're in different sports. You may have these three coaches that they all want to run their own programs. They all want, the basketball coach wants to have a good basketball team. The track coach wants to have a good track team. The football coach wants to have a good football team. But a lot of coaches fail to understand that when they are not in season, the kid is with another coach who also has a program in mind, and a lot of times, there's heads being butted because, for example, the football coach wants the track athletes to lift during track season, and then the track coach says, well, they can't lift right now because they have to run tomorrow, or the basketball coach wants them to go to a tournament, but they're in the middle of another season, and I hear about this stuff happening all the time where kids are missing this or they're doing extra. It's really, we got to remember that it's about what's right for the kids, not what's right for our program. And I will see coaches have kids do track practice, and then they go and lift weights with the football team, and at night they have to now go do like a private basketball lesson or a tournament, and they're just doing way too much instead of being able to kind of turn it into one cohesive unit. And I feel like the high school strength and conditioning professionals can kind of coordinate those things and talk to the different coaches about, hey, here, we have a plan in place. We're going to get the kids strong and in shape, and we're going to keep them that way for all of their sports, not just for your sport, but for all of them, so that when the football player is in track season, yes, I'm going to have him continuing his strength program, but it's going to be a little different than what people are doing who are not running track, because there's, one quick way to have a track coach not want to work with a football coach is to have the football coach lift a kid the day of a track meet. And I try to go back to football coaches and say, how would you feel if the track coach decided that, your starting receiver and defensive back came out, they needed to do a track workout on Friday afternoon before a game because, that's important to track. The football coach would say, no way, that's not going to happen. So everybody has to kind of understand that, they all want what's best for the kids, and they need to work together to make sure that happens. The high school strength coach has to understand the difference between in-season and off-season strength programs. And you can't put kids through an off-season strength program while they're in the middle of a sports season. It's too much. The volume is too high. You're going to just completely wear out their legs, and you're getting into possibly overtraining or overreaching and causing problems. Or at the very least, they're not able to play that sport as well. Could set them up for injuries because they're so sore and they're so tired. There's only so much ability to recover in a person's body, and if they're out there practicing for 3 hours a day, and then they're also trying to come and do a 2-hour lifting workout with you, that's just not an appropriate use of a kid's time and energy. So I feel like high school strength coaches can talk to the other sport coaches and make them understand, hey, I know your football players are in track season, but I've got this. I've got it handled. They're still going to lift twice a week, but the days may vary because of the competition schedule. I will make sure that they get 2 good hard lifts in each week, and we are still attempting to get stronger. This is not just, we're going to come in and pick our own weights. We've got a plan. They're going to continue to use progressively heavier weights and continue gaining strength through the track season. So when track season's over and they come back to you for football, you have at least as good of an athlete as you had before, hopefully better, because they've been working on their speed and their conditioning. But these high school strength coaches have to understand that you've got different conflicting needs and egos, and you have to play to all of them. And it's not just about your program. It's not just about the lifting program. If you're training a basketball player, don't try to worry about, you're getting the kid's name up on a record board. That's not what it's about. It's about having that kid better at all these different sports. And you have to take your ego out of it and do what's right for the kid. So sometimes I think we also have to educate the parents to help them understand that, you're in the middle of track season right now. I can't have you coming in and squatting, for 3 hours a day. What is that noise? I love it. What's that noise? That was awesome. I'm not sure what that was, but you know what? I think that pretty much, that was somebody telling me it was time for me to shut my mouth.
I was like, where is that coming from?
I don't know. I thought maybe it was like a baby toy or something around here, but that was good. So anyway, getting back to that, you definitely need to leave that in, by the way. You got to leave that in. I think we just need to coordinate and educate coaches and parents to help them understand that you've got a plan in place, and it's not about you. It's about what's in the best interest of the kid.
Awesome. Well, I think, sorry, I'm still dancing in my seat over here. One thing I heard, I think, one of the most impactful things that you just said to me was, like, design a program that takes into consideration all of the moving pieces and, be open for the communication aspect of it, not only with other coaches, but with their parents, and educate them on it. So it's, goes to those bullet points, but I think that was very well said. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, we got to be flexible as strength and conditioning coaches. And just to add on to that, I know that I was already told by that music to stop talking, but, we have to be able to change our programs. It's not about like, here's what we're doing today. It's about what does this kid need for the day, and it's sometimes hard for coaches to be able to switch things up. But I think that should always be the goal.
It's a game of adjustments, right?
It absolutely is.
All right. Thanks for your time, Jim.
Thanks, Julie.